Aren't they?
Do I know you from somewhere?
Nope.
Oh. No, I do. No, I do. Yeah. You sold me a dodgy turbo once.
You can't handle the boost.
No, that couldn't be me.
You said, pretty sure your words were, you can't handle the boost. But I still bought it anyway. And you're right, I couldn't handle it. We are back. That's right. My name's Rob.
And I'm Mike.
You may not remember us, we barely remember each other. It's been that long. But we're definitely back, and we're going to be bringing you once again some entertaining racing style videos. Hopefully getting around the country again and visiting all those awesome cars and awesome racetracks.
Yeah, every video we seem to do lately starts with, we haven't been bringing you much because of Corona. But that is another excuse again. We've still been putting our work in behind the scenes. It's been difficult, but it has led to something amazing. We have finally finished our race car and even got it to a race meeting.
Oh yeah.
It didn't go very well, but we got it there. Since the first lockdown, we quite quickly realised that A Racing's trailer full of the simulators, the year was going to be difficult and things weren't going to go to plan. What we had to do was just step things up a little bit. Part of our plan as A Racing was to, like the tagline, make racing a reality. We want to bring people from the simulators into real racing. So we just had to step things up. We got ourselves a race car and started down that road.
We did indeed. And that journey basically started in the summer of 2020 when Mike came across, luckily, a sort of half-built project.
An eBay special.
Yeah, definitely eBay special. It was the chassis in a few parts, and he sent it to me and I said, let's do it.
We did quite quickly realise that as the the first race meeting was coming closer and closer and the time was getting shorter and shorter to finish it, we had to, and with the multiple lockdowns as well, we had to move things forward on that side of it as well, so we brought it over to my workshop. It got in the way of everything in the sense of making things a bit more difficult, especially for our other halves when we spent multiple hours and late weekends here doing this instead of spending time with them. But luckily we got good wives.
And they understand that we need race cars in our life.
Everyone needs race cars in their lives. So this is what we've come up with. You put some fanfare music on this bit. I'm gonna fit you with an engine, not that low to the ground, and I'm gonna give you a regular sump to, well, because of regulations. And then I'm gonna fit you with some blue hoses, because everybody knows that gives you 40 to 50 more horsepower. I'm gonna give you a fuel line that'll hold about 30 milliliters of gas. I'm gonna shave half an inch off you, but you'll still be shaped like a brick. Now I'm gonna get you prime painted and weighed. You hear me? I'm gonna be perfect. Now, we're not going to lie, getting this finished before the first race meeting over at Silverstone was a mad rush. It was crazy.
Yeah. Now, obviously, when you build a race car, the first thing you do after you build it is you want to get it onto a track and give it a good test.
Yeah.
But because of the lockdowns, as soon as we went on to then try and book some of the track days or test days, they were all booked up.
We did get a little bit of testing at a local test track, and it didn't go smoothly, but then that's what testing's for. We had fueling problems. We had the alternator fail, which then killed the battery. That meant every time we were trying to get out on track to set up a bit of suspension, we just had to keep bump starting it and jump starting it. It didn't want to run once it was warm because of the fueling side of things. And then mid-corner, the throttle decided to jam open, which was exciting.
Which we've got footage of.
But we sorted all those problems out. That was the Friday before the race meeting. We sorted all those problems out. What did we do after that? I don't know. It turned into a blur. Right.
So after managing to get a small test day in a local track that we got around here, it's only a small track, and figuring out all those issues and then fixing them, we had another problem. And it actually happened when the car was just sat there idling.
Yeah, the day before the race, this was the Saturday, we pulled the car out, just warmed it up, double checking obviously everything we'd done, just to make sure it was all good, let it get up to temperature. Sat there idling, all of a sudden just cuts out, didn't want to restart. We just sat there like, what the hell's going on? After we stripped everything down, turns out the exhaust cam had jumped a massive amount, like 90 degrees. Yeah. I don't know how, don't know why.
There's at least 10 teeth, I'd say.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But it does turn out that these engines are what you call safe engines. So when the timing belt does slip, the valves don't hit the pistons. So that's why we still had good compression. So we set it back to what it should have been and what we set it to before. It's a sprung-loaded tensioner, so it's not like the tensioner was set wrong or anything like that. We're still baffled as to why it happened, but set it back. She started back up on the button, and the Phoenix arose.
Just like the entire journey, nothing's been easy. And it turns out that there was a bigger problem, the biggest problem, still to come when we arrived at Silverstone. We are standing behind our car at Silverstone while the qualification and practice session's going ahead, and the reason for that I'm going to let Mike explain.
It itself.
In not so many words.
Sorry, yeah, it bleeped itself. No, as we've gone to the main straight, the trouble is we haven't had much chance to test, and this is the first time we've been able to test it at properly high speeds, and it turns out at very high speeds it's got a lovely wobble going through, which we now know is the gearbox, because it spectacularly popped down the main straight. Hopefully I was offline and hopefully I didn't cause any spillage for anyone else, because that'd be even worse if I f***ed someone else's day up. But I managed to get back round at the exit of the pits and come back in, but it was a very short-lived career so far. But yeah, it's just it's not the way we wanted to start the car, the career, the racing, everything.
It's definitely a very disappointing way to start our AE racing career with the car. But on a positive though, let's try and look at it on the positives here.
You get to see me cry in a minute.
The car is pretty much finished, and we've got to do a lot more work on it now, obviously, to get it mechanically running again. But we do have another engine.
Yeah,
we do have another gearbox.
Yeah.
That we can rip out of another Ma7da, so she won't be off the track for much longer. We'll try and get a few test days in between now and the next race, which, as it stands, will be the end of May at Donington.
I'll be Rob driving,
and I'll be driving that time. So we have to possibly treat that as a bit of a test race weekend as well.
Yeah.
But disappointing start.
Yeah, we've got to stick it back up on the trailer. Watch sobbing at the pit lane, everyone else going past in their nice shiny Mazdas. and then go get drunk. How about that? Yeah.
I think it's definitely time for the pub.
As you can see, I wasn't the happiest of chaps at the end of the Silverstone race. I didn't throw my toys completely out the pram because there were still positives to take from the weekend. It was still a big achievement for us to get there in the morning, and also this car was one of the 2 cars in our class that was picked for scrutineering, and we went through that all fine, which is always a great thing because you've just built a car. They're there to make sure you built it right, and we got that tick, which is a great tick in a box to have. Then obviously once I got out on track, it was all a different matter. We think what happened is that the prop shaft that we bought, which has got the Ford rear end on it and the Ma7da front end, may have not have been far enough on this shaft here, so that when we were in the hard cornering, we only had one mount on the back at the bottom here. It might have been putting too much of a strain, and then that was basically just wobbling and vibrating within that housing, and then it just basically blew itself to death. But it's one of those things, like we said, with the short time of testing, and we didn't get a chance to get high speed in it as well. It is what it is. It could have been a lot worse. The shrapnel could have come through the sides, could have hurt my leg, could have locked up. The rear end could have, locked the rear wheels, put me in a wall. I could have spilt more fluid all over the track and caused someone else to spin out. It could have been far, far worse. But we got it back. We've got another gearbox in there. We put another engine in there as well, because the other engine we found started to smoke a little bit. And as we mentioned before, both the engine and gearbox were unknowns really. But now she's got new stuff in her and is running real sweet.
So as Mike just mentioned, we've got a new gearbox and a new engine in there now.
It's a proven one this time, so
Yeah.
we know the owner of the previous vehicle.
And we're pretty sure that it's a good little runner, so hopefully it won't let us down. And to confirm that, we've got a test day booked.
Yeah, full test day at Brands Hatch, the Indy circuit, so the shorter one, which is going to be really exciting. I mean, we've never been there.
We've been told as well that track is a bit like a roller coaster, so
Yeah, exactly.
we're
Yeah,
looking forward to that a lot.
should be awesome. Yeah.
I want to say, obviously, a big thank you to everybody that's helped us build this car as well. It's been a long journey. There's been a lot of people involved. It's not just me and Mike. We're the faces of it, obviously, but we couldn't have literally done it without the help of a lot of people.
Yeah, and a lot of those people we were giving stuff to last minute, like
Yeah.
paint, for example, especially the paint and the body panels.
Yeah, it was a very big
Yeah, we're
last
sorry
minute
about
thing.
that. We're really sorry.
So we
But-
apologise to the stress and the
Yeah.
pressure that we put on some people, but you really did help us out.
Oh mate, they pulled out a bag for us as well. Yeah, they really did. We couldn't. Well, it's just been amazing, really.
They're a good
All of it.
bunch.
Yeah,
They're a good bunch.
all of it's been great, and we hope you like the final outcome, the final look of it all.
So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Remember to hit the subscribe button, more importantly, and make sure to keep coming back, because we are going to start getting back into making videos regularly. Now the country's opened up, we're going to go around to track days as well,
Yeah.
look at some awesome cars for some future top to tyre episodes, and obviously you're going to be seeing a lot more of the Fonz.
Yes.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.